Hello, hello, everybody out there. Somewhere out
Yeah.
there.
Oh, we weren't going in. We just
Y'all,
stopped.
you know what? I wanted to, but okay. So, everybody, hello. Y'all are not used to this. This is Blerds on Nerds Walking Dead special edition for your life right now. Because
Keep going.
the reason we can do this is we have just finished watching the Walking Dead season finale.
Yes.
Because I have HD through my provider, I can get East Coast time, which means
Mm.
it's like 7 o'clock my time. It's 10 o'clock Matt's time. We watched it at the same
Mm. Mm. Mm.
time.
Okay, sorry. These are the things I do when we record the podcast because you can't see me. So,
I know it's like, and I'm making faces, and I'm like this, and we're doing this, and nobody can see me.
or when you tell me how warm it is, I'm literally looking out my window like this because it's like 14 and
I
like
know. And we have the most beautiful sunset. I'm looking at the trees. So
it's pitch black here. So, okay.
yeah, see, and there it is. Okay, there's the
So, I'm excited because I'm literally looking. If you see me looking away, it's because I'm looking at my phone. It's constantly like we're getting a bunch of retweets, we're getting a bunch of like replies. This
Yay!
this episode was. I mean, Lana. As soon as you called me, I was like, "This episode is everything." How did you feel about? Was it a good season finale for you?
I thought it was good season finale. Um, really, everything like the very end, I
Mm-hmm.
thought was super super interesting. I'm gonna plug in my mic, but
Oh,
I
what?
yeah, it's not even in. Um, I thought the very end was really interesting. And you know what? I feel like we've gone back to how Rick was more towards the beginning. It's like he's kind of come back into himself. He had to deal with a lot of stuff.
Right.
And oh, by the way, you guys watching this video, we're assuming that you've seen it. So
Oh
this
yeah.
is
Sorry.
spoilers. This is spoilers all day, every day. This is our reaction. We're not going to tiptoe around. Well, remember that part when he did the thing? We're not doing that. We're just going to say what he did. Fair
Well, let's.
warning.
So spoiler. Now let's go in. So even from the beginning, so the beginning they have Rick sitting outside the truck or whatever SUV with his hands
Yes.
bloody, and all we can
And
think
his
about
bloody
is
face. Let's not forget the face.
the bloody face and like that distraught, not distraught, but that crazed look on his face. Like, what
Yeah.
did he do? Like, what happened?
What
Uh,
happened exactly?
I loved, as I called it, Rashon. Like,
Yes. Oh gosh.
I love Rashon and their little son Carl because I couldn't stand Carl before,
I
but
I was really hoping that he didn't die or anything. Like I was starting to
I was
feel
worried.
I was starting to
I was
feel things.
worried too. I was like, oh, okay, like, because usually I'm like, he's the queen of the show at sometimes, and I'm like,
Right.
I kind of want
Exactly.
him, but I want him to live. But I really liked. At first, I was worried about the flashbacks. I thought the flashbacks were just filler. But of course, as we know, at the end, everything it was just done very well.
It
And of course,
was.
there was some confusion at first from a viewer standpoint, but the writers definitely led us, as the shooters did lead them.
Yes.
They led us to the path of how the show would collide with
Yeah.
who I think are the hunters. These are the hunters.
Okay. So that's from the graphic. So, um, in the graphic novel, in the comics, depending
Mhm.
on what you're reading or where you are. So this is kind of the next big thing, correct? Is
Yeah,
that okay?
the next big governor.
Right, right, right. Boy, they keep coming in. Well, I guess the zombie apocalypse will do that.
Yeah, and it's like, well,
People lose it. They lose it.
people are really crazy.
They are.
Gareth is a new character. He's not in the book.
Okay.
So people are saying that he's an adaptation. He may be an adaptation of like Negan. All these names. And people, if you guys haven't read the graphic novel, it's irrelevant. You don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But it's just another antagonist that's supposed to fill in that role of the governor. Because I remember reading like there were some complaints that people don't like, even though they love the governor when he left or even before he showed up, there was like a gap because you have like the good guys, which is Rick and all them, but like where's the bad, the evil or the villains?
I think we found one.
I think we did. And this is crazy. Like I love they all came together, even though where's Beth?
I'm still concerned because she got me. I started to like her. I really, really did. So let's go back and let's just go through because it's so I just want to jump everywhere. I'm trying to be patient with my
That's true. I'm
breakdown.
sorry. I did that
No,
too.
I'm doing the same thing. I want to talk about everything at once. So let's start from the beginning and then we'll go. So when um when Daryl's traveling companions happened upon Rick, Michonne, and Carl, I was really, really surprised. And it's funny what you don't remember, and I know
Right.
for me, it was kind of like, oh, yeah, Rick killed that dude. That was, they're the same group. Da, da. And so he puts the gun to his head, and I'm just like, how are they going to do this? How are they going to get out of this?
Right.
Because it's a season finale, my thing is who's about to die? Who's gonna go right? Who's gonna
Thank
die
you.
right now? And I was just
Thank
I
you.
was just waiting. I was holding my breath. I wanted to call you like Mitchell. I said no, wait. And so I was holding my breath, and I was like I held my breath for like 3 minutes. It's got to be a record somewhere. And I'm like, what's he gonna do? I didn't expect what he did. I didn't expect him to go zombie.
See,
With the
without me,
slow motion
it's
blood.
like even Daryl, like surprised because we were like, okay, well, we know Daryl's with the group. I'm like, where's Daryl? And I was nervous because when Daryl came on the scene, I was like, what is he going to say to save them? Like, and I was like, play your cards right, like, do it right. Whatever you do it right. But it really didn't even come down to him. It just came down to Rick. And I feel like when the lead guy put the gun to Rick's head, like Rick had this look on his face, like,
Yes.
I'm not going to die here. Like, and Michonne isn't, and my son isn't either.
Yeah, exactly. He had this look, and I was like, Rick is about to go ham. Something is gonna happen.
And
Like,
he went ham.
didn't he? Literally, he said, "Honey baked."
And
Okay.
the big guy was he trying to
Yes. Look.
rape?
Look.
Okay.
All I know is that I could have swore I heard a zipper. I could have
And he
sworn
turned him on his
either
stomach.
a zipper or a belt buckle. I heard a jangling noise, and I was like, American me, something's gonna happen, right? Right.
I was
I
like,
was
you
like, no,
serious?
and Rick heard it. That's when he said it's supper time. He was like, forget it.
I can't do this to you. I can't like do this like I'll take my time killing you. Like I have to
It's
rip
now.
out.
He said basically he did what any desperate father would have done. He was desperate. There was no way out. Like even Michonne, she was, and you can see her mind just working.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was like, we're not going out like this. Everything they survived is like, we're not going out like this. So Rick was just like, bump this, I'm done.
Yeah, and the way that like Michonne turned that gun on that sadly other black guy, or other black person.
There's so few of us left.
Like, I feel like she hesitated. She's like, "Oh, it's a brother. Like, I don't really want to kill him, but."
Right. She's like, "There's only 5 of us left."
And Rick already has my heart, so whatever.
Right.
Like, let's
She's
just
like, I'm over it.
pow,
Whatever.
like just get over it. No, but that whole scene was really good. The moment
It was awesome.
with Rick and Daryl talking,
Yeah.
that was nice. That was very Shane and Rick, like back in the day.
And before Shane.
Before, when he was a nice guy.
When he was a nice guy. And what was interesting? It's like, I think with Daryl, with him seeing the brutality of the leader of his new group, he's, and he can't help but compare. It's almost like I'm gonna go along to get along until, so I'm not alone. There's strength in numbers. I'm gonna watch myself. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna play by their rules until. And so, but as soon as he saw his family,
right,
he was like, "Oh, okay, we're back." He knows, and it was just a testament to his loyalty. He knew that they were probably going to kill him because that's how they operated.
Right, and they were crazy. I thought they were the hunters for a while, and then of course they're obviously not. But it was really cool to see them get back together because I was like, I kind of complained when they finally got to Terminus. I was like, there's a front door. But everything happens for a reason. Like, obviously Glenn and Maggie's crew went through the front door. We saw what happened to them.
Yes.
They go through the back door, and then we see all these different parts of Terminus that we haven't seen yet, like that candlelight vigil thing. What did you catch that?
You know what? And
like on the wall, the writing on the wall.
I had all these images in my head. I had things like angel heart, the serpent and the rainbow. Like I'm
Yeah,
thinking
like
about every cult movie that I've ever seen. Oh, The Golden Child, circa Eddie Murphy, 1980, whatever.
yes.
Because remember with the bloody oatmeal,
Hmm.
and I was just like,
I just watched it like 3 months ago. Seriously,
it
for the
still
first
kind of
time.
grosses me out. It still grosses me out. But I'm thinking about every, cult movie that I've seen, and I'm like, oh. And then I thought about that Denzel Washington movie.
Which one?
The one where he had that what was his name
Man
again?
on Fire.
No, the one where
Deja Vu.
no. The one where he's like blind, he's like walking.
Oh, Eli. Book of Eli.
The Book of Eli. I was thinking about that.
Hmm.
It just brought it. Oh, because I thought they were cannibals, and I was like, oh my gosh, like so. I'm thinking of all this stuff, and I was like, Carl, don't eat that meat because that could be one of your friends. And so, but Rick, saw that ahead of time, and oh my gosh,
He smacked that. He smacked Beth out that plate so quick. He was. He saw that blonde strand. He was like, "Oh, that's bad. Don't eat
he said,
that."
bam, no barbecue for you. I'm done.
Well, I underestimated Beth because I've always seen her as a side dish. Get it?
Yeah,
Side chick, side dish. No? No? Okay. She's the
it's
main
fine.
course. Okay, that's fine.
It's
I
fine.
just,
It's fine. I got it.
I
Yeah.
thought it was funny.
it's
Whatever. Anyway,
it's funny. It's funny. It's funny.
so this is Gareth's character is he was instantly shady, and when they walked into the warehouse, I was like, is this an Urban Outfitters like manufacturing plant or like I didn't understand like we're all hipsters, and I'm like this is kind of shady. And then Rick walked up to the chick that was on the mic talking about Salvation for All, and he just interrupted her, and I'm thinking, hold on, I'm speaking. Like
Right.
I don't even know you. Like talk to somebody else.
It's like, what do you?
Like I'm in the middle of sending a message. Like
Yeah, exactly.
but no, I just I mean to me the episode was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I mean obviously we don't know who Gareth really is or we may speculate, but clearly they're all together, like the band is back together and they're reunited and it doesn't feel that good because Beth
Yeah.
is missing. Lizzie and Micah are dead.
They're
And
deceased. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like but now
Carol is out there. So, well, all they. Where's Carol?
oh,
Because let me tell you,
Carol and Tyrese aren't back yet.
they're not back. Boy, I'm gonna tell you, Carol will drop a fool, and all they need is Carol and Tyrese and baby Lilith, who probably already knows how to hold a gun,
Yes, she does.
and she's gonna be like, Lilith, take point. Tyrese around the back.
Watch my stick.
And Lilith, she's gonna be crawling like this. you know.
I'm gonna be silly. Is it Lilith or Judith?
I don't know.
I can never remember. I'm sorry,
I
guys.
think it's Judith. No. I think you're right.
Okay, sorry.
It
I
is
can
Judith.
never remember if it's Judith or Lilith.
I would. It's a if.
Oh, Lilith is out of Supernatural. So Lilith is Supernatural, villain is Supernatural, irrelevant, and then Judith is the baby in Walking
Sorry,
Dead.
y'all. I got excited and I thought.
Sorry, not sorry. No, not sorry. But overall, I thought it was a really great episode. I'm a little upset that we have to wait because, I love the way it ended with Rick saying, they messed up, and then it was like this pause, and
Yeah.
Flynn was like, "What do you about what?" And or Abraham was like, "About what?" And he was like, "They messed with the wrong people."
Yeah. It just like Rick is looking like he's not. He's like, oh, I got my people. He's like, he's not even. He's not even concerned.
No.
He's like, oh, another obstacle. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But I feel like Rick is getting too, because Rick. I feel like the cool thing about Rick and the governor was Rick and the governor were the same people. They were just governor was an extreme of what Rick could be or what he is, and I feel like Rick is for the past several months or whatever of these episodes, he's been teetering this fence of trying to be like this father and guardian without being this crazed governor-esque person, and I feel like he's finally getting back to almost a perfect medium. Like, yeah, pulling out this guy's neck is kind of graphic, but at the time, like his son was about to literally be raped.
What
the
was
two
he
people
supposed
he
to
cared
do?
about, right? He, as a father and as a protector, as a leader, he did what he had to do. Now he's not going around just shooting up people like the governor, but he's finding that, I guess, graphic medium to do what he has to do to protect his family in this type of environment, which kill or be killed.
Yeah, and that's basically, and you know what? Another scene that I really enjoyed was the conversation between Michonne and Carl. Because,
Yes.
Carl was traumatized
Hmm.
by his father eating that man.
Did you see? I love the way they zoomed in on Carl's eyes.
Yeah,
Like,
he was like, because he's seen a lot, he's done a lot,
mhm.
but he's very young. He's not a grown man. And so
Right,
seeing his father in that capacity, I mean, he's probably got PTSD to the extreme. But like, he's flashing back to zombies. He's flashing back to all this stuff. And I love the way Michonne was just there
right.
and just had him and just held him, realizing that he was being traumatized, kind of covered his ears a little bit and just
Mhm.
had him, while Rick was handling his business. And I liked that they were listening to the conversation between Daryl and Rick, and
Yep.
that Carl was, listening to his father kind of be like, I'm doing, I'll do whatever I have to do, to protect him.
Mhm.
And also them kind of reassuring Rick that there was nothing wrong with what you did. And Rick trying to
Exactly.
reassure himself that, he was like, I'm okay. But it's going to haunt him a little bit, even if it's not played out on the show. He's going to think about that
Oh yeah, because that was very. I think this is the most graphic thing he's done since when? I mean, what's the most graphic
since
thing he's done before
ever.
that? Because even at the prison, he didn't do anything that traumatic.
No, I think this is, I mean, he hasn't done anything like that before.
Yeah. Maybe
So,
Shane. I guess maybe him and that Shane encounter from 2 years ago or 2 seasons ago.
but even that, was that a knife or a gun? I think he just,
I can't remember if it was a knife or a gun, but I mean that was his best friend, and it's very
yeah.
personal. And
But this, I mean, because stabbing has always been considered a very personal way to kill someone, and he didn't just like he gutted. He didn't just
yeah, he
stab.
did.
He
Yeah, he did.
like gutted him, basically, like a
Like
fish.
up, like
Yeah,
he
like
stabbed him
he
in the
went
stomach, then went up.
up, and
Like
I
that
was
was
like,
militant.
I'm gonna have to watch that again in a couple
I may
hours.
have to too.
But yeah, but like he stabbed him, went up. Um, that scene. Oh my gosh, I just
It was just a really powerful episode.
it was intense.
like how we talked about Scandal on the podcast. Like for the newest episode of Scandal, in an isolated situation, this has probably been one of the best episodes of Scandal this season.
Mhm.
Now, in the overall range, the average is still low. But
Yeah.
the opposite could be said for Walking Dead. I mean, Walking Dead has been very powerful these past episodes, and this isolated has been a really great season finale. And then when you put it all together, it's just a really great, like the way they did it. From like we're only going to deal with Matt and Lana in this episode, and then the next episode we're going to deal with these three
I
people.
loved it.
So you could truly, and then you could see like the lines, like the trail, like how they were all on the same
Mhm.
path, and if you just paid attention to like I don't want to call them Easter eggs, but like last week
Yeah.
with Daryl seeing like the candy wrapper, like
Mhm.
seeing stuff
Yes.
like that. So I love
Absolutely.
it. This entire season, second half of the season or whatever, has been so good.
Yeah, and let's talk about that because it's very specific as far as first half versus second half.
Hmm.
The first half, I'm going to say I was a little bored. I mean,
It
there
was,
were
yeah.
certain moments that I really did enjoy, but the first, I don't even remember. I barely remember
It
what
was all about the
happened.
lead up. It's about the lead up to the governor. That's all it was.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I was like, I mean, there were certain parts that were okay and that were good and that were memorable, like Herschel, you know.
Right.
But second half I thought was pretty stellar. Just looking at the production, the acting, the story, the way it all tied together, I thought it was really well done. And I
Hmm.
know a lot of people are probably going to be disappointed, you know, but I just liked it. I can deal with that intensity. It doesn't have to be action, action, action all the time. I
Right.
thought it was enough, and I think that it is realistic, to an everyday struggle living in this environment.
Yeah, and I think like I think the thing, Lana, that and I think you would agree on this, and I'm
Mhm.
not gonna pick on Scandal, but if you look at the second half of Scandal
Mhm.
and compare it to the content in The Walking Dead of this second half, we're being very specific. This second half of Walking Dead has no fillers.
Right, there's no fillers. You need
It's
everything.
You need everything. Like, every scene is very valuable. Everything is about everything. Everything is tied to. It's like one big spider web for Walking Dead versus Scandal. It's a really broken spider web. It's been like rained on, and the spider's trying to re-web it, but it's really not working.
Because the spider web is wet and there's dew dripping from anyways. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, nothing wrong. Just using that as like a stick in the mud to compare like how
Yeah.
detailed and how meaty The Walking Dead has been with information and how
Right.
well written this season. I'm just gonna say this season, this as a whole
Uh-huh.
has been. I mean, even leading up to the governor, past the governor, the closure of the governor, the closure of Herschel,
Right.
and then the flashbacks of Herschel were still so sweet. I mean,
Oh my
they made me
gosh.
sad. Like I really miss Herschel too.
He was so wise. He was really like the touchstone of the group, I feel like. He
Yeah.
was, it's almost like if you had a council of elders. He was kind of like spiritual leader, kind of just kept everyone grounded,
Hmm.
and he played an important role in that group. He
Yeah.
really, really did. And for him to be, but you know what? It's almost like, and I enjoyed the flashbacks because you can see him bestowing this knowledge on Rick
Right.
and giving him that encouragement like a father would, and just it was I don't know it was really really well done, and it was very purposeful that
Hmm.
I think it was shot and brought back like that.
I thought it was great. I don't. I'm curious to know if this was filmed like after. I'm sure like after the show. Sorry, after Herschel was killed off.
Hmm.
I wonder if they filmed this immediately after, like those, meaning the flashback scenes, because those are independent of this
Hmm.
particular episode. I mean, they could have filmed them immediately after,
Hmm.
or did they have Herschel come back and then do the shoot? I'm just curious about stuff like that, like how they did that.
I wonder. I wonder. I'm thinking that they probably did it all while he was on set, like those little scenes. And let's see, and I don't remember if those are outtakes
Hmm.
or I don't remember if we've seen any of those scenes. I just cannot recall.
No, I was thinking about that too, and I don't think any of them. I think all of those flashbacks are new, especially like the one where he was talking to that boy with the
Hmm.
glasses. Like never seen him before. At least I don't remember seeing him. So
I
just
remember
like that.
him
Okay.
turning. So
Oh, did he
what
turn?
happened?
He's the one that turned.
Yeah, he turned. He got sick. This is when everybody was getting sick. He was like one of the first to get sick. He went to go drink the water. He
Yeah.
started to get sick after that. It looked like he had Ebola almost, and
Is
he
the one he
bled
went to the
out.
shower? He
Yeah,
went to the shower.
yeah.
Okay.
And then he ended up dying. That was Carl. That was Carl's good friend. So that was sad. But
Okay.
yeah. So he was one of the first to get sick very early on in the season. And it makes me so sad because Walking Dead doesn't have a regular season like other shows. Like we have to wait until like October,
Yeah, I think it's
the
October.
end
Yep.
of the year to
Well, I'm sure there's gonna be a panel at Comic Con.
I hope so.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
I hope
Um,
so.
but I know Walker Stalker, the big, I guess, Walking Dead slash zombie convention was this past weekend. So I'm curious to see if there was any news or anything new shed on the show, or what's the
Mhm.
show's going, the direction the show's going. But I will be patient. I will not be upset. But this gives me time to completely finish all the compendiums and completely catch up on the
Right.
comics too. So
Right.
I'll be a little bit ahead. But I'm liking how Robert Kirkman is steering the show in its own direction,
Uh-huh.
introducing new characters. Like Terminus is not in the comic. I mean, all these different things.
That's interesting.
Some characters are dead in the comic that are still alive in the show. So that's cool because it adds a different dynamic to the characters and the
Mhm.
roster. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I'm excited for this season. I really love this season. I'm really excited for next season.
Hmm. And also, we get a Walker Stalker in California. It's going to be in San Francisco in January, our first one. So I'm
Oh,
I'm excited. We don't know if Lana's going. We don't know. I have to see.
you should go.
So,
You should go because
I
I
mean,
can't go.
it's like I'll try, but I don't know. I don't know
You
where.
should go.
I'm like,
I can't go.
mm.
Well, you want to wrap this up?
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts or insights?
I
What
just
do
thought
you
it was
think? Okay, give me a prediction for next season. What do you think?
so. I really do think for the little bit that I do know about the from the graphic novel, like I think these are the hunters. I think that I'm really excited to see where Carl goes
Hmm.
because I know where he goes in the comic, and everybody on Twitter was talking about Carl, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't seen nothing yet. Like at least comic wise, like it's a lot. Um, I'm really excited to see see Rashon.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that develop so bad.
Uh-huh.
Um, and also, I'm hoping to see more Carol and Daryl,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope Beth is alive.
Yeah. Yeah. So exactly. So we're pretty much on one accord. I want to see Rashawn. I want Carol to come in. I love Carol. I
Carol's
want her. I do. I want her and Tyrese and Judith to come in and save everybody. Um, and I'm just so happy everybody's back together. I want Beth to be alive somewhere. I really don't want her to be gone. I want her to come back because I grew to like her character over the past few episodes. I want to see where Carl's gonna go. I kind of like him. I don't want him gone or anything.
right.
And yeah, I want to see them just go buck inside of Terminus and show these people that, like Rick said, like you don't even get it. You don't even
But
understand.
the
you
thing
know?
that's going to get me is I want to see how they're going to escape this.
Yeah.
So, Rick did say, "Well, you mess with the wrong people," but that's cool. I understand that. I believe that. But how are you going to,
Hmm.
without some sacrifices? So I'm interested to see, are people really going to die?
It would be sad if Glenn or Maggie died because they just found each other.
It would be sad, but well, I shouldn't say there's no but. It would be really sad because they just got back together.
Like literally hours ago. They got
That was a
back.
rumor. There was a rumor that people were saying that Maggie was going to die at the end of this season, like that she was
Mm,
going to end up reunited with Glenn on episode 12, and then episode 13 she was going to get killed off. So I'm glad
that would have
that
been
didn't
jacked.
happen.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So this is our little, we had to get it out, you guys. Thank you for watching. And the podcast will be up tomorrow morning. And so you can listen to us just talking about everything in the whole wide world. Let's just put it
Everything.
like that. Everything.
And Walking
So
Dead too.
sleep well, children.
Spread the word. We'll talk to you on the next one. All right.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.